burn through the money, diamonds dance like Usher. You ain't gotta like it, but my bitch gon' love it. All about cake, got a million.
Hey, what is up, Jay Bourne? How we doing?
I am doing great for Rare. It is now again a Victory Wednesday or Thursday. Sorry. Gonna get in on Thursday.
Yeah, it must be nice. Must be nice there. The intro song this week was Brand New. The title there by like Tyga, Lil Wayne, whatnot. It seems kind of fitting with some of the trades that happened this week. Looking forward to breaking those down later on in this pod.
I am also looking forward to break it down also with my new and improved power rankings.
Yeah, you were teasing that you're going to switch it up a little bit this week, so I'm excited to hear what that entails and where some teams will fall.
I'm excited to break it down.
Like you mentioned, Victory Thursday for you. Congratulations. Should have been Victory Thursday for me as well, but poor coaching, poor management going on in Castleberry this year.
Seems like you want to say something, so let's kick it off with your matchup between you and Fagoni.
All right, me and Fagoni last week. I mean, it's pretty plain and simple what happened. So this is a 10-point loss. Boils down to I got too cute. I put in Aiden O'Connell starting for Vegas, left Trevor Lawrence on the bench, and I made a trade with Walt where I pretty much got traped. Walt got clearly the better end of me. I wanted to ask for Romeo Dobbs back, but they played on Thursday last week. And I think our trade happened on like Friday or something. So I didn't want to wait a whole nother week to get the deal done. Probably should have, since Henry went off and Ford sucked. But that's not so much Ford's fault. I mean, DTR played. The Browns were just awful. Now they get a bye week, so I'm excited. Get Ford some more reps with the ones, and we'll see what he does next week. But all in all, man, long story short, I blew it. Lucky win for Fagoni. Wouldn't you agree?
No.
What?
No, that's not lucky. I don't know. You gave it to him. I don't know if you're tanking. I don't know what's going on over there. Why would you sit your best quarterback? What? Did I get into your head about the whole London thing? What? Trevor Lawrence is your bread and butter. I don't get that at all.
QB19, man. It's not. I've been waiting for more.
Okay, he might be QB19, but he's better than any of your other QBs. I mean, I can understand. I'll give it to you if you switched Danny Dimes or Mac Jones and you're like, let's go with the rookie, see what he can do for Vegas because they got some weapons. I understand that. But who pulls their starting quarterback? What is going on there? I don't understand that at all.
Yeah, poor coaching decision. So you're proving my point. Fagan got lucky. If I just play it smart, play it safe.
Okay. So you went on this long thing about how you should be 3-1.
Yes.
We're gonna hold that off. We're gonna hold that off for the trade talk, actually. Okay. We're gonna wait. Still enough. I want to ask it bad, but I'm gonna hold my tongue here, which doesn't happen often.
Yeah, it's very easy to break that down. So happy to do that later on. Anything else you want to say real quick on my matchup versus Fagoni? Is it?
I think that the better team won. I mean, if you ask me, Fagoni has scored 480 points this year.
Here we go.
You're way down there at 450. You're 30 points behind him.
Exactly. And if I don't make that Derrick Henry trade and I start Trevor Lawrence, then I'm fine. I beat Fagoni and I have more points scored and it's all fine and dandy. But I've been letting you get in my head each and every week. Points scored. When any given week something can happen. And I panicked. to be fair, the whole league knew that. The whole league knew I was in panic mode, and Walt's the one that was able to take advantage.
Let's keep on moving for air.
So, like you mentioned, Walt takes advantage, gets Derrick Henry. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter because he goes against the juggernaut Squatches, who I didn't realize dropped 176 until looking at it right now. I mean, just sucks for Walt. Tough one here. Anything really to say, dude? Josh Allen 44, CMC 45. How freaking exciting is it for the Squatches?
It's nice to see Josh Jacobs put some points on the board. I'd actually like to bring it back. Josh Allen scored 44.5 points. He's currently the number 2 quarterback fantasy wise. Earlier this year, after the first game, somebody in our league said that Josh Allen would not be in the league after 2 years or something like that. I just don't see it. I don't understand it. I believe that the Bills are 3-1 right now.
Don't sell me short. I said his 4th year. He's on a 4-year deal. In the 4th year, that contract's gonna suck. But it'll be the last year of it. So
in the 4th year, Josh Allen won't be in the league anymore. That's what you're saying.
that is what I said. I'll have to stick to that for now.
So you have Jimmy Garoppolo. You have all these quarterbacks that are in the league. Gosh, I'm trying to think. Who's still Colt McCoy was still in the league as of this year. You're telling me he's going to be out of the league in 4 years?
Okay, he probably won't be out of the league, but he's not going to be fantasy QB top 10, top 5. That's just ridiculous, man. You put in DTR, get you 1.2 points, and it doesn't even matter. Nice win. Looking at Walt's team, there's some changes made, so we'll get into that a little bit later. Just riding through, Walt. Just hang on to that draft pick unless you trade it to me. But yeah, good stuff, Osnaburg. Weren't really a lot of close matchups last week. If it wasn't for Fagoni and I, that kind of came down, I think, to Monday night. Everything else it's pretty much wrapped up. Bolivar gets a nice win against Maslin, drops 157. Mud Dogs only get 120. What's some takeaways you see from this matchup?
Panic mode coming from the Mud Dogs. That's what I see. Straight panic. Decent team. Didn't play their best matchup. The better team, the better manager won here. That's about all I got to say.
Yeah, but
Had some chances.
even in the Mud Dogs' best lineup, it wouldn't have mattered against Bolivar.
Why wouldn't it have?
The outcome is just too different. I mean, it's a 37-point victory. There's not enough points. There's no optimal lineup the Mud Dogs could have put together to win.
Gary McLaurin and Khalil Herbert.
Yeah, who are you taking out? Easy to say Javonte Williams getting hurt, 2 points, but he's going against the Bears. Like, that's an automatic start.
Yeah. Yep. I'm just saying. I like me some Bolivar Bulldogs. I've been on their team since the beginning. I like them Bulldogs.
Yeah, they are coming into shape very nicely.
Vision A is looking a lot stronger. I love it. The Bulldogs are just the better dogs this week.
So you dropped 176, and it was not the high scorer of the week.
No, it doesn't have to be the high score of the week.
That went to North Industry. Congratulations, Fat Chair, for knocking off Zor 125 to 183.
Did the Fat Chairs make maybe the best draft pick this year in the second round?
Is that where Achan was drafted?
Yep.
That's looking pretty good.
It's looking really good. Dropped 50 last week, 25.5 this week. Looking like a killer. Stephon Diggs, AJ Brown going at it. Love it. Patrick Mahomes didn't even show up. I mean, it's looking pretty bad. I mean, everybody had a chance to get Joshua Dobbs, and he looked like a stone cold killer in the loss against San Fran. Guy throws for 265 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 48 yards on the ground, 27.4 points. No Aaron Rodgers, no problem. Takes down the big dog himself, Greg.
Yeah, kudos. And North Industry Fat Share is in win now mode. So they are buyers as of right now. We'll see what other pieces they can add. Closing out the week, my 106 was not the lowest score, as we actually had Magnolia not reach 90. So the Monarchs, for scoring less than 100 points, that is a shot of whatever you want to take. But that is honor system there. One of the things we always say, if you don't score 100, you got to take a shot. Mustangs get it done. Fields finally has a game. I mean, there they go, dude. Memphis 4-0. And I'm just, you hate to see it, but here they are.
You know, he gets a little Russell Wilson magic there. And well, I think they played in Chicago, right?
Yep.
In Chicago, you get a little Russell Wilson magic. Goes off for 3 TDs, 28 points. Told you the quarterbacks were going to drive this score. Cole Kmet with the icing on the top. Two TDs. I mean, the Memphis Mustangs are galloping right along 4-0.
That they are. They're 2 quarterbacks in the same game combined for over 60 fantasy points. That's.
I mean, at the beginning of the year, I told you I liked the Mustangs. You kind of laughed at me. You know, he thought the Flames were the better team, and I just don't know where you saw it. I mean, just looking at what's happened, that's what's transpired over the course of 4 weeks. Man, what were you thinking?
Yeah, things have changed, but if I had the same team, that I would be in a no-brainer, easy conversation to have. But a little different right now. So anything else you want to say about week 4? Or put a bow on that one?
I think the Monarchs will be all right. A little bit of a down week. You have that in fantasy. Jalen Hurts doing what Jalen Hurts does. Gino got hurt in that game. So that's why he was down a little bit. Nice to see Zach Wilson pulling out. That was a really good game against the Chiefs. He played until the end. And then they got screwed on the call. But yeah, it's going to be tough for the Monarchs here coming up because there's going to be a lot of bye weeks and they don't have a lot of bench depth. So we'll see at our week 5 preview how they shape up.
Yeah, that's true. That might spiral a little bit. So gotta get the locker room together. Hopefully not pull a Castleberry. So before we preview week 5, I tell you what, man, we've had an active trade season so far, and like we're not even near the deadline, and we've got some good and exciting movement. It's fun. Like trades are fun.
I wouldn't say exciting. We've had an exciting trade week. Once mine went down, it kind of went from there. Everybody kind of jumped on board and was making some trades. We like to see it. We're gonna dive right into the trades.
Yeah, what trade are you referring to? Once what trade went down?
Kamara for my first
Okay.
rounder with Greg.
Okay, yep, yeah, back on the 20th. Yep,
Yeah. I don't know if we ever talked about that trade.
just a little bit.
Did we talk about it last week?
Yep.
Okay. I forget if I made it last week after the pod or I forget.
Made on 9/20, and we had a pod on 9/28. But if there's anything you want to say about it that you want to get off your chest,
I'm excited. I mean, I got called out a little bit for it, but I mean, like I said, nobody's really got any running backs. It's hard. Um,
see Kamara set the record.
for what?
I think it's most receptions or like 13 receptions and only 33 yards.
Oh,
Anytime
I'll take it every week.
anytime somebody caught that many passes, the minimum receiving yards I think is like 70, 75.
Yeah, I'll take it every week. Just keep throwing them receptions at 0.5, baby. 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. Keep them coming. We love it.
All right, so we did actually the 29th. No, we would not have talked about no, sorry. We did not talk about the trade with Walt and I. I did trade away Derrick Henry, Robert Woods, Samaj P. Ryan. It's basically Derrick Henry. In return, I get Jerome Ford, a future third rounder, and Tyler Boyd. Tough trade for me, man. That I trade myself. I just want Walt to turn around, get out of the dweller, at least have a fighting shot at not being in the bottom. Whether that's this year, but like in the future, I didn't want to ask for too much.
What? Are you talking?
What are you? I got the better end of the deal,
right? No, I'm thinking you got. I don't know what you were thinking here.
I got hosed. Yeah, it's a bad trade.
You get Tyler Boyd, who's
Worthless.
Yeah, worthless. He's on an expiring deal, so I'm thinking, are you trying to just get rid of all your guys for expiring deals? I don't really understand what's going on there. You get Robert Woods, who's the number 53 wide receiver this year.
No, I traded him away.
Oh, he's already gone. Never mind.
Yeah.
Samja, which
Samaje.
yeah, Samaje, sorry. Number 44 running back. What?
Again, it's fine giving him away. It basically came down to Derrick Henry for Jerome Ford.
It basically came down. You thought Jerome Ford was going to be better than Derrick Henry. In what world were you thinking that?
And free up a 4-year deal. If you think back, Henry did finally have a good game, but I was getting nervous. I was like, shoot. I mean, Henry's on a great contract, regardless if he's even like half of the king that we're accustomed to him being. It's still totally fine.
I mean, Jerome Ford had 7 points last week. That's really not his fault. That's more Cleveland's fault.
Exactly.
He had 22 points the week before, 18. It's against Baltimore. It's going to be tough, but
next week's going to be tough too. Well, he's on a bye this week.
Bye week. Yeah, you're right. You lost.
And then next week is the 49ers. So I just got to fight through that, and then he'll be fine.
Yeah. So whenever you said you were going to be 3-1, my question is, if you should be 3-1 right now.
No, not yet. I would be after this week.
Well, this week's over.
No, this
upcoming played 4 games. 3-1.
That's fair. Okay, so if I would have won last week, what would that put me at? 2-2. Okay, so I should be 3-2. I should be 3-2 after this week.
Okay. I'm not even talking about just this next week. If your team should be 3-1, why would you not ride out the bad wave? 3-1's a good record. Like, why would you change everything if you thought yourself you should be 3-1? That doesn't make any sense to me.
So you got to me, man. You got in my head. The weekly podcast.
You're blaming me?
Point scored. And I was like, dude, I got to see the writing on the wall. Jayborn is trying to tell me my team is not there. It's not cut out. And so I was like,
You're
all right.
putting the blame on me.
No, not blame. Not blame. You just beat it in my head every week. And, just kind of like maybe Jayborn's on something.
Well, if you're going for points scored every week, you made the trades backwards.
Yeah, right. But there wasn't a lot of room for progression. So
Okay.
I had to go the other way.
Let's move forward. I don't think you've done all too bad. Let's go on to that next trade.
So this next trade that I'm assuming you want to talk about, me and Donald's trade.
Yes.
This is the trade that, had it not happened, I beat Donald this week.
100%. Yeah. Agreed.
Because we talked about it off the air. I think Donald has like no quarterbacks, or it's just a bye week. It's a bad week for Donald. And I beat, like, as long as my team doesn't completely crap the bed, like, I just need to show up and I beat Donald.
Yeah. So essentially, you guys traded Joe Burrow for Trevor Lawrence. For the first couple of weeks, it looks bad. Joe Burrow looks bad. It looks like he's regressed. He hasn't. He's going to come out of it. He's going to be probably a top 10 quarterback this year. It's going to happen.
You still think I'm a little nervous? I'm nervous, man.
Don't be nervous.
It's injury. It's not rust. It's an injury. Like,
it's a calf strain. It'll heal. He'll be fine.
Does he need time off for it to heal?
Maybe. But
there's way more to this trade than essentially Burrow and Lawrence. There's way more pieces involved.
Yeah. But you give up Miles Sanders, which is fine. Mac Jones, honestly, that's probably the best because Donald's going to eat that contract, that $6 million next year.
So I proposed this to Donald in Sleeper, like we've been proposing. Yeah. And he sent me a text. He's like, I don't want Mac Jones. So I'm thinking, all right, he's not going to do it. I'll get like a counter or something like that. Yeah. So when it was accepted and like there was a trade, somebody said something in the chat and I was like, oh, who made a trade? Like, what happened? I had no idea it was me because when Donald sent me the text, like, I don't want Mac Jones. And I just assumed I'd expect a counter at some point. But no, he let it sit there. He marinated on it and then he accepted it. And I was like, oh, snap. That just happened. I was like, shoot, should I be excited? I didn't know how to feel.
You give up Calvin Ridley. I think that's for the better, honestly. He looked good the first week. Now he looks like he's 28 years old and his legs don't run as fast as his body does.
I am excited
for that for you. DK Metcalf, I mean, he is what he is. He'll probably be a top 15 guy by this year's end. That's kind of what you want, I don't like his $29 million. So,
but he's 25. And so that 4-year deal.
Yeah, he's a lot younger and he hasn't done anything stupid like Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're winning there. And you get a second. So, and Donald doesn't look like he's doing that great this year. He's 2-2. So you might get a middle of the pack player now. I mean, you traded a quarterback who runs right in the middle between 1 and 30. So he's the number 15 quarterback, let's say.
Right in the middle.
Good. You got a top 5 quarterback. You got the game changer. I mean, Joe Burrow is 26 years old.
On an expiring deal, so I gotta
He's on an expiring deal, but he's a corner piece to the offense, to your whole fantasy team. I mean, maybe you pay him between 25 and 30 million next year, but so what? He's good. You need that guy who's going to get you between 25 and 30 points every week. That's what you need.
Are you saying you like this trade for me?
I'm saying when it comes down to it, yeah, he's got Trevor Lawrence, but you got
Also,
the better wide receiver and you got the better quarterback. I mean, look how many weapons that Joe Burrow has. I mean, Jamar Chase and him are on point. You don't think in the next 2 years it's not going to be the greatest show on turf over there? Them guys, they play college together. Now they're playing the NFL. You don't think they're going to connect even better? They're figuring it out together. They're only in their third. Joe Burrow's in his third year.
I wonder if I didn't have to give up 2 threes. I wonder if I only needed to
That'd be his fifth.
Do 1/3. So much. But I see the trade from Don, like in a win now mode. He only had 2 QBs, and plus, like we mentioned, this week he would have been struggling to have a roster. It would have been a tough spot.
But that's fine. I'm gonna struggle to have a roster at some point in time this season. It's gonna happen.
Afford that.
So could he. How many people don't make the playoffs? 3?
4.
4?
I mean,
you're running with everybody, and you're right around everybody. So it's going to happen to everybody. So you take your licks when you can.
I'm not a big believer that Burrow can fully turn it around this year.
Even if he doesn't, so what? Next year he's coming out slinging.
It's even a better trade for Donald. I'm not saying Donald won this trade. I think it's a good trade, and I see both sides of it here. Because again, Donald only had 2 QBs, basically 1.5 because Burrow's been so bad. So the Mac Jones gives him a QB 3, which let's face it, you got to have 3 quarterbacks in this league.
Yeah.
And then he gets a running back there as well, plus those 2/3. Again, I'm wondering if I only should have offered 1. Nonetheless, but yeah, I'm excited to have a second rounder. I think I now have 3 second rounders. So that's pretty cool.
They're third round picks, dude. They are what they are. You know what I mean? The second, if you're up towards the top of the second, kind of nice to have. But now next year, now he's got all these quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
He's got Mac Jones, who doesn't look like he's going to be the starter at the end of the year. I think Zappy came in, didn't he? They signed him back last week. I think he came in at the end of the game.
He did, yeah, just because Mac was playing so bad.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
One bad game on the season so far. Mac's been solid.
Who are you going to trade for him? I mean, yeah, you could trade Trevor Lawrence, but why would you trade a $0 million guy? That doesn't make sense.
I did it.
A corner piece.
I did it not once, but twice this week.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to knock. I mean, that's just my opinion. I think you won that trade.
Thanks, man. I need some good news.
And then you weren't going to get Michael Wilson. I just want to tell you that.
Jameson Williams?
No, Michael Wilson.
Oh, from you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talk about that trade. Yeah. So we talked about
No. We gotta go to the other one first. I just wanted to tell you.
Okay. So yeah, then Walt gets Derrick Henry from me, flips him and Romeo Dobbs, sends him to Donald. Plus Donald gets a second rounder. In return, Walt gets AJ Dillon. So that's a 4-year deal for Derrick Henry there, 4-year deal.
Yeah.
Your boy Jameson Williams, who you just absolutely admire.
I do.
And Donald's first rounder.
Yeah. Who do you think won this deal?
Again, I think it's a good trade for both parties. Donald's in win now mode, needs it. He gets a second rounder, which is going to be a top of the second round, pretty solid. And Walt gets a coveted first. So it kind of takes some pressure off of his other one as first. And I mean, if say he drafts Caleb Williams, maybe he's still in the rebuild mode and Caleb is on the taxi and he gets that other first to be the starter, or he puts Caleb Williams in a starting lineup and that other first goes to his taxi.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, you get out of the AJ Dillon thing.
Yeah, he's not
That's
looking
a
good.
4-year deal. I understand that.
Yeah, even though it's cheap, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
something I'm not really excited about.
But at the same time, I don't like trading a first.
Here's a question. Because when you buy somebody out, you free up the 4-year deal.
Yeah.
So
The next year, the following year.
the following year, yeah. And he has so next year is AJ Dillon's expiring 4-year deal. It's only $5 million. Your Walt. I mean, depending, of course, what happens like
Why?
and what rosters look like. But if he's going to be a backup again, I really just buy that out and free up a 4-year deal in the offseason.
Why? You can't do that. It'd be for the following year. He'd have to do it now.
That's why I just asked you, and you said, yeah, it works.
Oh, does he have $5 million right now?
Well, no, it would be.
It'd be the following year. He only has 2 years left, so next year he's only gonna have one. He's only gonna be $5 million. He's on the last leg of it.
Exactly. And if you just pay that in the offseason, when that would free up your 4-year deal.
No, it'd be the following off season.
So
I thought that's what we agreed upon. So if he paid off the 4-year deal this off season, next off season he would have a 4-year contract. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be for this year. It wouldn't be for 2024. It'd be for 2025.
Yeah. So, okay. So the answer to my question then would be no. So you can't.
Yeah.
In 2024, right? Like at the end of this year. So
yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's what we voted on.
Okay.
Because I don't think we wanted to make it that as soon as you paid it off, you automatically just got the 4-year deal
back. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha. If that, I don't remember when we voted on that. If that were up for a vote, or if that would you change, or what's your opinion on that?
It really. I think I tried to get it to where it was off that year.
Yeah.
But I think you were the one adamant about
keeping. I could have been.
If I'm honest.
Yeah. Yeah, be curious what the league thinks after listening to this.
Derrick Henry can be a powerhouse. The thing I don't like about Derrick Henry is you can kind of see it. He goes 12, 17. I mean, he wasn't doing bad for you. I don't get it. He goes off for 2, and then he goes 25. So he's kind of up and down a little bit. But
I was concerned about
sometimes you get some big games, you know.
For sure, absolutely, no, and no doubt. I was concerned about, I think his snap percentage. It seemed like Tajay Spears was starting to play a little bit more, and it's amazing if Derrick Henry and Austin Eckler just start the season strong.
Yeah,
this Castleberry team looks completely different. You know, I probably don't make I definitely don't make these trades, and think I need to switch something up. You know, I'm riding high, feeling good, but I came out the gates slow.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair deal for what he did with Walt. I really like what Walt's doing during this season. He's getting the draft picks. He's, I like it. I think he's gonna turn around. He's gonna have money next year. I think he's gonna be a force.
Gets Jameson on a nice free deal next year.
Yep.
I do like Dobbs. Dobbs is on a good contract, so that's tough to give up.
Dobbs was picked up this year, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was a nice free agent signing. So seems like
Oh, 2 for 5. Okay.
it's going to depend on Jameson Williams, I think, because Derrick Henry, Dobbs, and a second just for a first, that's kind of a lot to give up. But if you're like, you have to do that because those guys aren't moving the needle for Walt, and you need to get just young, free people that draft picks that can pan out.
Thing of it is right now, though, is Jameson Williams is coming back this week. They said he wants him to be consistent, just catching the ball. But if Jameson Williams is that big play guy and St. Brown, I mean, he's going to get less looks now, right? Wouldn't you agree with that?
Possibly, maybe not right off the bat, but hope maybe as the season goes on.
Devontae Smith and, A.J. Brown, they can coexist. But it's kind of like game by game, each one takes over. So it'd be a carousel of who Donald would start there. But at the same time, I really like Jameson Williams. I think he's going to be good.
Yeah, you're really high on him. Yep.
Yeah.
So the last trade this week happened this morning, actually, where between us, I gave you Drake London on a free deal, even next year, for 3 guys on expiring deals. One's a bum, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and then Curtis Samuel and Cortland Sutton. That's to help fill my roster this week.
How do you feel about the trade? Who do you think won this trade?
I feel like I'm kind of a broken record on most of these trades where I think they benefit. I see both sides of it. Obviously, I think you have much more potential with this trade. And like it's literally like a no risk, high reward trade for you because you just traded bench guys who maybe are bye week fillers. They're not going to be on your team next year. And now you get a free guy, young, promising talent on your team next year. What do you think?
I like Cortland Sutton, but I knew he had to be in the trade if I was going to offer him for Drake, But I don't know. It's like, man, part of me is really hoping that Kyler goes to the Falcons. It really is, and I kind of get 1 year of that. But at the same time, it's like, man, I don't know. I don't know if he's any good. I've never watched an actual Falcons game and seen him there.
You got their quarterback.
Huh?
You got their quarterback, and they were just in.
I got their quarterback, but he's my backup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not my starter. But who did they played the Jaguars? I didn't get to watch the game. I turned on the Toy Story on Disney Plus, just to check that out, and I didn't think that was very cool. So I never actually watched the game.
I thought it was neat. It was different.
Yeah, it was different, but it wasn't something I could watch the whole game in, I guess.
Oh yeah, no, not for like football fans, more like childish and stuff. But
yeah,
it was a good try, something neat, and
yeah. I thought it was cool, but I didn't actually watch the game, so I didn't get to see Ritter, I didn't get to see Drake, I didn't get to see Kyle Pitts. So, I think I seen an interception. I think Ritter threw an interception, and I got to see that. But other than that, I didn't really see anything. So I don't know if he's any good or not. These guys, I watch them on TV, and I'm like, okay, he's flashing there. Okay, he's open. Okay, he's open. I watch the Browns every week, and it's like, Cooper's open. You know what I mean? Cooper's the only one that's open. Elijah Moore's never open. Peoples-Jones is never open. Most of the time when the ball needs to come out, their head's still looking down the field. It's like, what are you guys doing? So I watch these guys and some of them get open. Romeo Dobbs gets open. Garrett Wilson is open all the time. My gosh, would he be good if Aaron Rodgers was there? My gosh, it'd be a totally different. My team would be, Oh my gosh. Yeah, that Garrett Wilson is always open. I think I've watched 2 or 3 of their games so far this year. The guy's always open, his hands up. He's like, just throw me the ball. But it's like it matters who the quarterback is, and it matters.
I do like Garrett Wilson. Yeah. I agree on that one. So that's awesome stuff, trade wise. And now it's time to get to your power rankings.
Oh, yeah. I told you I might go from the top down.
Who's
But
the
I'm not going to.
No, not going to? Okay. Who's the
No,
sponsor
no,
of
because
David Bourne's Power Rankings? Brought to you by
garage beer. Great in your garage or for podcasting. Power rankings.
Awesome. All right. So we are starting at number 10, you said?
Number 10. Honestly, I'd like to put Chris here, and he's not even in the league.
That's funny.
But I'm going to go. So I'm going to start off, and I'm going to tell you why number 10 is number 10.
So it's not Walt, is what you're telling me.
Number 10 is the Castleberry Bums.
Funny.
Had a decent team. They were supposed to be 3-1. They were supposed to be good, and they traded away all their key pieces. It's not looking good for Castleberry, I think. I think they're if there was a trend, it'd be trending down.
You just gave me props for getting Burrow.
So
I trade away all my pieces, but I bring in some good pieces.
everything else. I mean, dude, you got Curtis Samuel starting this week. And it's supposed to be week to week, right? Am I wrong?
He's got a good matchup this week.
You got a chance to move up next week. Put in that work, dude.
I'm hoping I don't go backwards.
Number 2, we got Alliance.
Number 2, number 9.
Number 9. Sorry. Yeah. Number 9. Most of it's because of the Derrick Henry trade. That boy, I mean, you got to add in the GM factor into this. I mean, that boy took Derrick Henry from you for scraps and turn it into a first-round pick. Woo! GM of the year, maybe? I'm not sure here. What do we got cooking over there in Alliance? What's in the water? I need some. Let me drink that water up, boy.
That's fair. Walt owes me one. There's no. Yep, you're right.
Number 8. We got the Turd Nuggets. Riding high. They do get Jonathan Taylor back. I think they'll be higher. But, hey, this week we're going to go. Great win by them.
Okay, so Fagan started at 9. He went to 7, and he beats me, but falls backwards in the rankings.
Yes.
Okay.
At number 7, we have the Mud Dogs. I'm more worried about not coughing. I'm sick, so sorry.
Okay.
Number 7, we got the Mud Dogs.
Wow, this is a big downgrade from 4
Yeah.
last week.
Yeah, I mean, lost a big game, didn't show up, traded their star quarterback. They really only have one quarterback. So, I mean, we'll see what the Mud Dogs do. There's always next week.
They only had one quarterback. Now they have 3.
Well, does Mac Jones count as a quarterback?
Yes.
I don't count him. I can throw better than him.
I can't wait till he beats you later this year.
He won't. At number 6, what was the Mud Dogs last week for air?
Mud Dogs were 4. They went from 4 to 7. It's a big drop.
Big drop. At number 5?
No, you said 6. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. We have the old Monarchs, Ben. Team had a bad week last week, but I still think they got a pretty decent team here. I think Tyreek Hill is going to go off here pretty shortly. It's going to be hard to manage. At number 5, we have the Bolivar Bulldogs. Bolivar came out swinging. Love their team. Love what they got going on there. Jamar Chase, hold on to him, Aaron. He's going to go off. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. Lamar Jackson. I mean, this guy's got C.J. Stroud. Everybody's talking him up. Best Ohio State quarterback to ever come out. He's looking good. Houston looks good. They got Tank Dell, who's sitting in the taxi right now on my team, just waiting to unleash hell next year, boy. Just waiting. What you know about them Bulldogs?
You are your number one cheerleader.
Oh, yeah. At number 4, we have the 4-time champion. Is that what it is? 4-time? Greg moves down from 2 to 4 because of the loss last week. He goes to 2-2. He drops. It's looking bad. Panic button. Alvin Kamara might have been able to help save it last week. No Kamara there. No 5 touchdowns to save Greg this time. He's gone. Saquon Barkley, you can't count on him. Tua finally met a defense he can't play against in the Bills.
Are you saying Greg should be pushing the panic button, or his hand is like hovering over it?
Boom! You better get ready, Ferrer, because he might have to hit it here pretty shortly. He might have to trade some first to get out of this hole to win this year. He might need some pieces.
I got him. You can come to
me. That boy don't have a quarterback. He needs another quarterback, and he don't have it. Jared Goff is not going to save your season. Ain't going to happen. And neither is Derek Carr.
Yeah, not Derek Carr. Yeah.
And number 3.
Are we 3?
Yeah, we're at number 3.
Okay, so like you mentioned, yep, Greg went down. Recap.
Dropped 2 spots.
Aaron has trended up every week from 7 to 6 to 5. So
love it. Yeah.
Okay.
Kudos to Aaron. Let's give Aaron a round of applause.
Yeah, shout out. Good job, Aaron. For so far, the same person has been number 3 in your power rankings through 2 weeks. Is it going to stay the same person this time?
Let me tell you, we got the mad-haired guy over here that makes crazy bets. Old Rob coming in 3. Beat the pants off of Greg last week. Greg's literally still looking back, trying to figure out what happened last week, and the old fat chairs are still going. I don't know if Greg still has his little ponytail thing, but I think old Rob just snatched it off and he's running with it. And Greg's trying to figure out what happened.
It's a big jump.
Love his team. I think he got the steal of the draft in that running back from down south in Miami. He looks like a terror on the water, boy. I don't know if that kid. I'd love to get some shoes on him and just watch him run across the ocean, because I don't think his feet would touch the water. He's that fast. Boy is good, I'm telling you. At number 2, we got the 4-0. Big old Mustang riding high. 4-0. Woo! Man, Ferrer. If I'd have told you at the beginning of the year like I did that Matt would be 4-0, would you believe it?
No, because I would beat him.
You didn't beat him.
But that's why I wouldn't believe that he'd be 4-0. Because I would have thought I would have beat him.
But you didn't. You lost.
I get that. But you asked, if you told me at the beginning of the year if I thought he'd be 4-0, I'd say no. Because
you can sit there, you can call it luck. You can call it the fantasy sprinkles coming down on the old Mustangs, but they are 4-0 and they are riding, boy. Boom, boom, boom. You hear them galloping. You heard them galloping. I think they trampled your team because there ain't nobody left. They're all gone, boy. They're all gone.
That's
Ever
fair.
since Russell Wilson threw that Hail Mary, I don't know what happened. But it was like your team just, whoo, we want out of here. Get us out of here.
Yeah.
They're all gone.
The one piece of credit I got to give Memphis is they lost the starting running back early in the season, maybe even like week 1, whatever it was, and they've bounced back, or they haven't shown that it's affected them. So I give kudos and props there.
No J.K. Dobbins, no problem. Keep on trucking. Like Matt's team, they got Gibbs. Gibbs, I think, will keep getting more and more carries each week. We'll see what happens there. We'll keep an eye on it. And at number 1, we have the diabolical, the guy who he owns the regular season since 2019, I believe.
You were 9-4 that year. Not the best record though in the league.
Maybe not the best record, but I was trending up. Now,
Matt,
I've never stopped. I'm keep trending up.
Matt was 10-3, and me, Greg, and Chris were all 9-4 with yourself. There's some strong teams 2019.
Well, I got Wall at number 1. And I want to go off the power rankings here. We're done with that. I want to talk about week 10. Week 10. Week 10. Do you know what week 10 is?
No.
You might not want to come on the podcast on week 10.
Week,
Do you want to know why?
I'm curious what's going on week 10.
Week 10 is going to be the week that I surpass you in wins. We will be tied week 9, and week 10, I will surpass you in regular season wins.
Oh, woo! Okay.
There will be no more shit talking about how you have a better regular season record than me. That'll be done. It'll be gone. You're going to be looking at the rebuild for next year, hoping that you can get some of these players.
Interesting. Okay, look at you. I like the homework you've done.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait to fact check that later. I'm sure you're probably semi-right, but wow. Is that assuming like I don't win any more games or what?
I don't think you're going to win another game.
That's funny. That's cute. That's funny.
I mean, just looking at the schedule with bye weeks and everything else like that, I just don't see your team winning another week.
That's cute.
I've factored in maybe one win and me losing a game, but other than that, I don't think so. It could probably happen week 9, but I'm factoring in either one win for you or one loss for me. So, mark your calendars, ladies and gentlemen. We will be having a podcast party week 10.
We'll see about that. I do want to say this is Matt's first time being 4-0.
Well, can we get Matt a round of applause or what?
He's never been 4-0, so some of your is I guess worth it.
I just want to say everybody calls me the biggest hater, but when like teams are rolling, I'm your biggest supporter.
Yeah, I get it. Unless it's Castleberry.
Rare is literally the biggest hater on here. I mean, I literally bring teams up, and when you do something good, I call you out. Hey, great job. Good trade. You know, it's like Donald called me out for making a deal with the devil. Well, you know what I did. You're right. I mean, I don't know what you want me to do. You're right. I did it, and I hated myself for it. It's looking good now. Oh, I love me some Camara. Ooh, eat that up.
So surprisingly, this is not the first time Greg has been 2-2 through 4 weeks.
I think last year he was 2-2.
It's actually happened twice.
Yeah.
2019 and 2021. Last year he was 4-0.
What years did he win it?
17, 19, 20.
So he won a fourth one, an asterisk one last year, correct?
Yeah, we didn't put anything. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Last year's. It's not
Yeah.
2022 is not in the record books anywhere.
Yeah, I wouldn't put that in there. That was a shit show.
Yeah, not really sure what happened there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I bet you I got the loss, even though Allen only played 5 minutes.
Oh, nice shout out. I think maybe Donald got on and updated the spreadsheet. Literally like during the podcast. Very cool. Kudos,
Yeah,
props there. That's awesome.
Donald's been on it. You guys have been slacking, yourself and Greg.
Myself a little bit. I think this was Greg had a lot going on this offseason. But yeah, Donald came in clutch for sure. Always does. Always does. So with that, are you ready for this week's trivia question?
Is it going to be about what week I'm going to pass you in the regular season wins?
I don't know if that's going to happen this year.
So you're going to win this week then, right?
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure I have some other wins lined up this year. I'll check later.
Okay.
So, kind of fitting. How many teams in our league have never missed the playoffs?
1.
Who would that be?
Greg.
It's actually 2 teams.
Is Matt in there?
No, you're looking at them.
You?
I've always made the playoffs.
Oh, man. Well, let's give you a round of applause.
That's in serious jeopardy this year.
It's in pretty bad jeopardy. You might want to make some more moves.
That's
CeeDee Lamb is on the block.
What?
CeeDee Lamb is on the block.
I'm not sure what pieces I have left.
I don't know if you got what it takes to get CeeDee Lamb. I want to throw a first in there if you want to make the playoffs, though.
Yeah, my first is not going anywhere.
Why?
My first is staying in Castleberry.
Who are you going to take? Trevor Lawrence again? 1-1? Trade him away?
I know. Do I? Me and Walt, we gonna battle out for that first pick?
I believe you already played Walt and you beat him. Currently, right now, it goes off of points scored.
No, it should be record first.
And Walt is 40 points behind of you. Record first. Right now, you have the better record and you have the more points scored. But yes.
Dude, the Bears are coming out swinging on Washington right now.
How bad would it have been if you'd be 3-1, then you lost the rest of the way down, and you didn't get the first overall pick because Walt had a worse record, but Walt had more points than you? That'd be terrible, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but that wouldn't have happened. So yep, Greg.
We were about 3 points. We were what, 6 points off from you being 3-1?
We put an asterisk there. We're considering like a 9-team fantasy league because Ben just got here. Stuff like that. And whoever, like if somebody like did 1 or 2 years and they made the playoffs those years, like I didn't count them. Like the main core of our fantasy, like Aaron included, like he's a main core. Yeah, it's just Greg and I, we've always made the playoffs.
Oh, it's in jeopardy.
Much, very much so. For Greg too, or just me?
You.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think Greg's good.
He has one more win than me.
Yeah, but Greg has scored
Here we go. Always point
559
scored.
points.
And you wonder why I panic every week because I get hit over the head with points scored.
Frere, I've scored 609 points. Almost, I'm 0.202 away from scoring 610 points.
Proving my
You
point.
scored 450. I'm a whole game ahead of you. Not even your game, actually. Your game is like between 80 and 100 points. 115, somewhere around there. Like, that's your game. So I'm over a game from you.
Yeah, it might be a little less than that now. So it's funny. I went to week 10 on the schedule because I was curious what you were referring to. And there's some nice matchups. You got Bolivar that week. Greg
Yeah.
plays Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but where are we at? Week 5?
Yep.
Week 5, we got a couple of crap matchups. Before we start with mine, let's just knock out Fagoni versus Alliance.
Ooh, Pagoni. Well, that's going to be hard because you already see what's going on there. I'm going to pick Fagan. Fagan rolls to 2 and 3. Walt goes to 0 and 5. I'm very curious to see what Jamison Williams does this week. Yeah, I mean, the 49ers versus Dallas. I think Brock Purdy shows up for that one. I don't think Ryan Tannehill's got much in him against the Colts. Yeah, I think old Fagoni cruises right by.
So his quarterbacks face each other and his tight ends face each other. That's funny.
Yeah. Fagan, get Dak Prescott out of the starting position.
It's not going to matter this week. That's fair. I probably would play Jordan Love. I do like that.
Mm-hmm.
Nice work by Fagan to keep Sam Howell on the bench this week because he had a nice matchup and he's not playing well right now.
Yeah.
So
Jonathan Taylor start? Do you start Jonathan Taylor this week?
over Ferguson, yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean, Fagan, come on. Get that boy off the bench. He's itching to go.
Maybe even over Barrios. But again, like we're talking, it's against Walt, so it shouldn't matter at the end of the day.
Yeah. I like Zay Flowers against Pittsburgh. I think he's gonna do pretty well. But he better watch out because there's some dirty players over there in Pittsburgh.
And it's no disrespect to Walt. It's just where the lineup's at this week, and it's going to be the same for me, right? Like me versus Maslin this week. We've already hinted at the trade. Basically gave Donald the win, and I mean, I feel even more strong and confident about that after seeing these lineups and the lineup that I have to put together. It's hot garbage this week. So
Walt should feel great. I mean, he's got 2 first-round picks next year. I don't believe Kirk Cousins is on the last year of his deal. No, he's got one more year. Kirk Cousins at $6 million. I think he's the number 1 fantasy quarterback. Number 7 now. He was number 1.
he was one. Yep, he did.
Happens, yeah. But he's got a shot at Joe Burrow next year, unless Frere franchise tags him, which would be a terrible mistake. Patrick Mahomes is up next year, unless he gets franchise tagged. I mean, there is a lot of potential of guys coming out.
So
It's there.
should
Going to have the most money.
should Walt trade? Should Walt trade Cousins then?
No, you don't trade Cousins.
Really?
You don't trade Cousins unless you're going to get something back. Unless you're going to get some young players back, you don't trade. Look, if he could pull off a Kirk Cousins for Trevor Lawrence trade, do it. Do it. But because Kirk Cousins is 35. He's only got so many years left. Trevor Lawrence is going to be around, you know. Yeah, if you could pull off a Jordan Love for Kirk Cousins trade, do it. You know, that'd get Fagan a rock solid quarterback or even a Brock Purdy. If you can get one of them guys out of the contract, do it.
Jordan Love's QB3, so I don't see why Fagan would do that. And Purdy is QB11, still both young, good quarterbacks. I don't see why Fagan would do that.
I agree, but I'm just saying, if you can. Don't give up them first, though. Love what Walt's done. He's gotten, I think, going to be a great wide receiver. He's got another great wide receiver on his taxi. I mean, he is the number. Addison is. Oh, I hate this when it does this for air.
Yeah.
And whenever you hit the player now, it does the weird thing where it goes to the lineup and shows the actual team. Number 43 wide receiver. He had 0 in week 4. I don't know if he played. I'm not sure. I didn't keep up with that game. But before that, I mean, the kid's 14, 14, and 8. I mean, that's good for a wide receiver for a rookie, you know.
Yeah, future's bright for Walt. He's continuing to go in the right direction.
Love it.
DJ Moore's having the game of his life right now in the first half. 5 catches, 137 yards, 2 TDs. Holy
Yeah, 28.2 points. Yeah. I don't know who you're going to pick, but I'd go with Fagan.
Yeah, I mean, Fagan's got that one on lock. And I think the Mud Dogs got theirs on lock against Castleberry.
Let's pull up the Castleberry Mud Dogs game.
We don't have to. There's not.
We got Joe Burrow. I'm on my second garage beer, and I don't usually drink 2 of them. So this was a good podcast. You know that. Great beer.
Garage.
We got Joe Burrow versus Trevor Lawrence. Gainwell versus Cook. You know, I think Kyron Williams, I think he goes off this week. That was a good pickup by you, honestly.
Thanks, man.
I don't know how you pulled that off, but oh man, he looks good, don't he?
Yep.
So you got, you know, if there's a bright spot in your team, it's that. You know, he looks better than Bijan. Number 4 running back, 23 years old, rookie.
No, he's not a rookie. He played last year.
Oh, did he play last year? Oh yeah, experience 1 year. Yeah, I mean, I would take him over that Bijan any day. Right now. So kudos to you, dude. You got better than a 1-1. I tried to get him off you, but you won't come off with him. I traded first rounder for him.
Don't tempt me.
I'm trying. But, you know, we got Tyler Boyd versus St. Brown. You know, this is a game Tyler Boyd might show up.
Yeah, might do something.
Show up because whatchamacallit's hurt. So you got the cuff to that. St. Brown, he's questionable. They might try and force it to Jameson Williams to get him started. I'm kind of scared about that. So St. Brown might not do what he does. Cortland Sutton, I mean, this guy versus the Jets, he's taller. He's taller than everybody else. The guy's 6'4". I think he scores a touchdown this week. He's pretty much scored a touchdown every week. He's a red zone guy. Calvin Ridley against Buffalo. They held Tyreek Hill up. I mean, Tyreek Hill didn't do much, so do you think Calvin Ridley's going to do much? We'll see.
Yeah, the Bills did lose Tre'Davious White. That does suck for them, but
I don't know if it's Samuel's playing. Okay, he's got 1 point, but it's not showing up on fantasy. That's weird.
I got it on my end. I see it here.
Okay, it's not on mine. Terry McLaurin. Sam Howell must not be doing too good. So
yeah, Washington's not doing good in general, and I've got 2 of them in my lineup.
Yeah. I think Curtis Samuel scores you 6 to 10 points. He's pretty good for it.
I was hoping for at least 6. I thought he had a chance tonight. But again, I don't think it's going to matter. The lineup choice I might switch is if T. Higgins plays, I'll take out Watson, put Higgins in. That's all I got, really.
Justin Watson scores a touchdown this week.
Okay.
Mark Andrews, I think he does pretty good against the Pittsburgh. He started to go off last week, but I mean, the Browns were outmatched last week, so he kind of got them yards at the end, a little bit extra.
Can we talk about Donald only having one quarterback in his lineup, and it probably will be fine?
Not yet. Does Smith go off against the Rams? I'm not sure. Last week he had 11. I think he might have one of them 4 to 2 point games this week against the Rams. I think the Rams run it down their throat, and I think Philadelphia tries to run the ball. Derrick Henry against the Colts. He had a good week against the Bengals. Not so good against the Browns.
It's terrible.
I think this is one of them ones where Derrick Henry might not show up. And I think Daniel Jones throws the ball against Miami. So I'm going to go with the Mud Dogs here just because I want to be 10, but I'm rooting for Castleberry this week. Let me throw that out there. I'm rooting for Castleberry. I think you deserve one of them, what's it called? A pat on the back for the week that you've had, the fantasy season. I think it'd kind of brighten your hopes up. Yeah, I'm rooting for Castleberry.
Oh my gosh. It would be the shocker of the century. Not the century, because we might have had an upset or two already this year, but it would be up there for one of the biggest upsets this season.
Yeah.
And boy, I would be riding high. I've got full on loss this week. So if there's any glimpse of a chance of a win, holy crap, I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah. Who do you want to go to after this one?
All right, so we got the 2 beatdowns of the week. I was thinking your matchup, but we can save it. Projections wise, man, Fatch Hair and Bolivar is neck and neck.
Yeah.
And even though the projections aren't totally there, you got an undefeated Memphis team going against Zor.
I think we go my matchup.
Cool.
Here.
I agree, man. Yeah, I think that's the.
I think we got 2 game of the weeks this week.
Yep, and
Never talked about that before for game of the week. We kind of dove in this week.
Yep, and we're not a part of game of the week.
No, we're not.
Hey, but that's good, man. We are fair and open to the league. No bias.
We are. We got Josh Allen versus Jacksonville here. He's been on a roll. Hopefully he keeps on it. Jalen Hurts. I mean, he's right behind him.
9:30.
Back 5. What's that?
9:30 in the morning. Early start this week again.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, I hate these London games. I absolutely hate them, dude. How does Jacksonville get 2 of them back to back? That's crazy.
And it's a nice scheduling spot for them. They're already staying over there. Body clock's used to it. Buffalo.
I mean, you're not going to fly back and then fly back.
Right. Yeah. And
all the way to London, you know?
There's a chance they might be able to sneak one on Buffalo, but probably not.
You know, the 8:20 game, Christian McCaffrey, old boy shows up for them games. You know that. He loves the spotlight. You got Swift. Got my Monday nighter, dude. Josh Jacobs versus Green Bay. I like it. Devontae Adams against Green Bay. Ooh, that could be a 2-touchdown game there.
Revenge game.
Yeah. I don't like Debo in this spot. I got Debo in my other fantasy. And what is up with Najee Harris, dude? Is he terrible?
Dude, he's not. Yeah,
Oh,
it's so bad that I can't defend myself, but I've sent a proposal to Ben, like trying to get Najee and Jalen. I don't know why. Like I shouldn't want a Steelers running back, but
no,
you know,
I don't like Debo here. He wasn't right last week. I don't think he's going to be right this week. Maybe the next week he'll be right. You got Hopkins. Hopkins hasn't been that great this year.
oh, he's got Josh Downs in his lineup. Adam Trotman. Oof.
Did you ever think a healthy Hopkins would be ranked number 50 in wide receiver?
Kinda.
A healthy Hopkins.
Yeah, we tend to see it. Like I don't like that signing from fantasy.
Oh, neither did I, but I'm just saying, like, he's number 50, dude.
He's 31. Like he still has it, but it's not going to be anything great.
He's 31. He's still 6'1". He still catches the ball like crazy, and he's a route runner. I mean, that was him. We have Michael Wilson, who's wide receiver number 29, who was on the waiver wire. Was on the waiver wire, dude. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, oh man, dude, who's this kid? I've never seen him play. Dude, 6'2", scored 23 points last week, 9, 7. The first week he wasn't that good, but he just keeps adding points as the weeks go on. I'm like, who is this rookie? Where's he from? Where's he from, Ferrer?
Stanford.
He's from Stanford.
Yep.
Wonder what he put up for Stanford.
That I'm not sure.
He's in my lineup. I like him. We got Tyreek Hill versus the Giants. That's going to be a scary sight there.
But
I know it.
He's going to need a 50 burger to compete with your team. You're going to win this matchup by 30 plus.
I hope so. We get Deshaun back next week. We need it. Kyler Murray's on the mend. He'll be back. Cooper Kupp. Oh, scary, dude. I want to put him in, but it's like, what do I do here? Do I put him in? Do I not put him in? Got Garrett Wilson going against Denver. Oh, it's scary. Very, very scary. I thought about taking Ryder out and putting Cooper Kupp in.
Okay.
So we'll see. Cooper's still on IR. They're not saying he's going to play this week.
Honestly, if I was Ben, I'd probably start Jalen Warren over Najee Harris. And
I mean, that's his call,
but it's not going to matter. It's tomato, tomato. You got the win there. We got two great matchups this week to dive into.
Jalen Warren is the number 29 running back. Najee is the number 36. So, I mean, yeah, you're right. You are correct.
I think Ben's a Steelers fan. He's got 3 of them on his team.
Oh, that's. I try to stay away from my favorite team players.
From your side of things, man, you just got a couple people at 1, but like you mentioned, you got that 9:30 for Allen. Then you got prime time Sunday night and Monday night for 4 of your studs. Like you'll be coming out the gate losing.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see how it shapes up. Sometimes it's kind of wild because sometimes it's like the 1:00 games. I feel like the 1:00 games are terrible. Like your team does terrible them weeks. Like it's like fantasy wise. Then 4:00 comes and it's like everybody's awake by then. Because if you unless you're playing on the East Coast, these guys are playing at 10:00 in the morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Yeah. Which I'm not really a fan of,
All right, so moving on through, man, I think probably Memphis and Zor, you might anticipate game of the week. I'm totally cool giving it to Fat Chair and Bolivar.
Yeah, that's fine.
So Memphis and Zor, 4-0 Memphis, 2-2 Zor. Who would have thought those were the records going into this matchup?
Yeah,
Could be a little bit of bias or, watching this live because Justin Fields is having himself a game right now.
two touchdowns. Yeah,
Is that going to be enough?
Greg gets scared and puts Montgomery in.
You got to put Monty in. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you do. They're using him like crazy. So we got a Monty versus Gibbs here. I think Waddle has himself a game.
He needs one, man.
Yeah, you got TJ versus Kelsey. I think TJ kind of tries to have himself a game. Ooh, Matt Stafford makes the cut. He goes in. I think he sees the writing on the wall. Cooper Kupp might be back. Maybe I should put Cooper Kupp in.
So you're not surprised to see Russ go to the bench?
I am. I think the Jets are right on the cusp of the whole team breaking. Once that offense just kills their defense.
It's not going to be this week. The Jets are getting up this week. The Sean Payton preseason back and forth, like Nathaniel Hackett. There's so much bad blood.
Yeah.
This week is the competitive juices will be flowing.
So you think Russell Wilson might not be available next week?
Oh, from injury? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that. While I'm with you, of like, dude, are the Jets going to show up this week? Yeah, they 100% are going to show up this week.
Be a good week to start Breece Hall then. And that's who Matt has in.
He does have them in, yeah.
I don't like Saquon in here. Saquon's still supposed to be hurt.
Yeah, but yeah, who would you put in instead? I think it's
Pierce. I mean, dude, Pierce is the number 25 back. Barkley is currently the number 27.
right.
If Barkley's healthy, yeah, you start Barkley. I agree here, but man, I like Christian Watson here too. I think Christian Watson's looking pretty good this week. Man, Greg's just got so many guys. Do you take Mixon out? I mean, it's against Arizona, but oh boy. Mixon, number 19 back.
Olave should have a big game, but both those teams, all their games have gone under the total, so you expect a low scoring game. Christian Gonzalez is out, the Patriots' number one corner. They're also down Matthew Judon, so there's opportunities there. It just depends how healthy Carr is.
I mean, Ferrer, can you pull any of these guys from Greg? Man, that'd be great. If you could pull some of these guys from Greg, man, your team would be rolling.
But I don't know, what would I give up? That's the thing.
I don't know.
Eckler?
Reach into that bag of tricks. I don't know what you trade for Eckler. I mean, he's probably not going to give up. Eckler's on that, what is it, a 31 million?
2 for 31. Yeah.
2 for 31. Yeah, so that gets Greg into the cap hit for next year. So, oh boy.
I'd take Saquon, maybe.
Do you take Mixon?
No, Saquon.
You take Saquon?
I might have changed your heart on Saquon. Yeah.
Oh boy.
I don't know. But
I don't think you trade Eckler for Saquon.
not straight up. No, I would need more back, right?
Yeah, 100%. Eckler's the defending fantasy champion for running back there, right?
Yeah, and he'll come back a fun. Yeah,
Yeah,
He's
that
too.
might help Greg. Greg might have to hit the panic button after this week.
So do you think Memphis keeps their undefeated?
I think Memphis keeps rolling. I think Greg goes to 2-3.
I actually kind of would like to see that, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think Greg's going to win.
Okay. That's the first one I think me and you are missing.
Yeah, but that's the first one we're different on. I just think we haven't seen much from Gibbs. Pollard, tough matchup against San Fran. And I don't fully know what I'm gonna get from Stafford there. So I just, I don't really have all those question marks with Greg's team. But I'm sure
If Cooper comes back this week and he has Puka and Cooper, oh my gosh. Them boys are gonna wreck the league.
And Kyron.
Yeah. My gosh, dude. That's gonna be that's scary.
I forget whichever game the Rams were on prime time recently. Oh, I think it was Monday night against the Bengals a couple weeks ago. Oh my gosh, dude. Stafford missed Kyron like 3 times and just checkdowns. I was like, dude, why are you so inaccurate throwing the ball to Kyron right now? It's driving me nuts. But all right, so I got Zor and you have Memphis.
I'm gonna ride and die with Memphis.
Anything else in that matchup? You good to go to Fatch Hair versus Bolivar?
Yes, I am.
All right. The last thing I have on Greg's matchup there is every week, and Greg has to know this. Like his team is so loaded that it kind of comes down to lineup decisions, right? Like left Monty on the bench. You're going to leave some stud on the bench that's going to outperform somebody starting, and you're like, dang it.
Even if he put Monty in, I don't think he could have, like you said with Donald, I don't think he could have beat the Fat Chairs last week.
That's fair. That's true. Yeah, I didn't look at it that. Yeah. So, game of the week. Shout out North Industry. Shout out Bolivar. Who would have thought week 5 game of the week? Even though these two teams are each 2-2, here we are. And it's awesome. What do you think?
Before you get on this is what I want to tell you. So Zor could have their max points last week. This is why I love Sleeper so much, dude. Was 169.73, and North Industry scored 183.
There you go.
So, yeah, there was no way Greg could have won.
Yep. Yeah.
It was outmatched.
Too big of a beatdown. I wonder if that's there. We should Greg, I'm gonna spot check that. Is that like his worst loss ever?
I'm not sure.
That's
No. Greg had a week last year where he scored pretty bad.
okay.
He got beat pretty bad.
Lost by more than 50. He did. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Last year, week 10, Rob beat him 167-124.
Yeah.
Did Rob change his name to Fat Chair because does Rob
He owns Greg?
Does he own Greg?
I don't know, but I think he bought property over there where Greg lives and looking like he's winning.
Now, to be fair, Rob and Greg did start the season last year, and Greg won 162-112. So they traded ass kickings.
Well, he bought property after week 1.
Yeah. So
I love this matchup for air. Robinson's not doing too much right now.
Big surprise because I would have thought he popped off for sure.
Yeah. Gibson's nowhere to be. I don't like it. I think I think Joshua Dobbs has a tough week this week.
Interesting. Okay.
Cincinnati, if they have any fight in them whatsoever, dude, it's got to come out this week against Arizona, right? It has to.
Is that on offense or defense?
Either or.
I mean, Dobbs has faced Dallas and San Fran and put up 19 and 27 respectively. So
he faced Dallas when they lost their big boy and Diggs. I think Diggs is gone for the season, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think it was a dirty hit.
It
From what
was
his brother said, it seemed dirty.
it was in practice. I think it was non-contact.
I did not know that.
It was 100% in practice. I know that.
Gotcha. Wow. That's crazy. But yeah. So he's gone. I think that hurt him bad that week. Because he's kind of their bread and butter, and when that ball goes up in the air, next thing you know, here comes Diggs, Micah Parsons is becoming that guy, but I don't think he was. But anyway, I think Dobbs kind of took advantage of that. Oh, this week, if Cincinnati has any fight, the defense is going to come, the offense is going to come. So we'll see. I think Cincinnati has a good game this week. I think Joe Burrow bounces back because it's not like he's had all terrible games throughout. I mean, he had at least one decent game. I forget who it was against. But yeah, if they have any fight, who did he play? Yeah,
Tough,
against Baltimore. He had a 20-piecer.
tough for fat chairs. They got Kenneth Walker on a bye this week.
Yeah.
Flip side, I mean, Kareem Hunt, Baker's on a bye. The bye definitely hurts fat chairs more than Bolivar this week. Oliver's team is done after 4 o'clock.
Yeah, that could hurt him. But
honestly, fat chairs only they're done after 4 o'clock as well, except for one receiver, Jaden Reed for Green Bay.
I'm looking up something right now. Sorry.
I was gonna say, where are you going with this? Because
I thought that Jacksonville played Buffalo last year. They didn't. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I thought Evan Ingram had a game against Buffalo last year, but I don't see it. But yeah, he's got Travis Kelce, TJ Hawkinson. Like I said, I think both of them are gonna go off next week. Do we see Michael Pittman come out and actually be the number 24 wide receiver or no?
yeah, he's gonna play really well against Tennessee's secondary.
So okay, and I like Jamar Chase this week. Justin Jefferson.
This is a good matchup. You got Jefferson against Kelce and Mahomes in this matchup.
And Lamar Jackson against Pittsburgh. Dude, I'm going with the Bulldogs here. They're 2-2. They've been riding high. I know I got North Industry ranked number 2. But man, I just like the matchups. I like Bolivar this week. I've talked myself into it.
And I'm on the other side. I'm going with North Industry.
What makes you think that Patrick Mahomes is going to shoot for 30 this week?
The Minnesota defense, indoors, hopefully a high-scoring game. If Achane plays well, I think it's a wrap.
Okay. What about Madison?
Makes me nervous, but he's actually coming along a little bit better. I should be more nervous about like Wandale Robinson or Pitts or Reed. But I just a little hopeful that maybe Steelers can contain Lamar a little bit.
Do you maybe put Cam Akers in?
Probably not. I haven't seen what he's done. I doubt it.
I haven't seen either.
Yeah, no, 29% snaps. No.
Yeah, I was just curious there.
Don't like Ramondre Stevenson this week. I honestly, I mean, this is why I probably have the record that I have and whatnot. I might have actually played Antonio Gibson over Ramondre this week based off the matchup, and Gibson's not doing anything.
That Darren Waller contract ends this year. Kind of looks like a blessing. Kind of signed him at the right time, and it's kind of gone downhill this year.
Aaron White.
Or maybe it's the quarterback. I'm not sure.
Yes, that does need to end. You're right. That is a bad contract. Don't blame it on Danny Dimes. He's fine.
If he played a little bit better last week, he would have won.
Yeah, that's fair. It does seem like more matchups favor Bolivar, but I picked North Industry. I think there's.
I don't know why, but the analysts love CJ Stroud this week. Love him. I don't get it.
Dude, he's been on fire.
I mean, not that on fire.
I would have thought higher than QB 10 the way he's been playing, but that's still amazing. 2 touchdowns in 3 straight games, yet to throw an interception. That's awesome.
I got Bolivar. You got the fat chairs.
So we got two disagreements this week.
You know what I'm noticing, Frere, is you bet against our division a lot. This week I got the Turd Nuggets. I got Bolivar. You did take the fat chairs. I understand. I took Memphis, but you got Greg. You got a lot of them.
We just had 2 differences. I always forget about the division, so that's funny if that's what it ended up coming down to.
Do you think the division this year? Who do you think coming into week 4 has the better division?
Coming into week 5?
Yeah, coming into week 5 after week 4.
I might going into this week. I probably gotta say Division B.
Why is that?
Because I think Walt and I cancel each other out, and I give, if we're just going 1 through 5, looking at that, I give Ben a bigger gap over Fagan.
Oh, okay.
To where maybe like,
but okay. So the Monarchs have scored 490 points. Fagan has scored 480. So he's 11 points behind. But you scored 450 and Walt scored 410. I'm the big dog riding at. I'm the first one to top 600 points. Greg has 568. I mean, sorry, the Mustangs have 568 and Zor has 559. We've got the Fat Chairs at 553 and Bolivar right behind, literally a point behind at 552. The Mud Dogs come in at 526. So if you average it out, I think we're pretty even.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Honestly.
Like it.
You got a couple 20 points, 30 points here or there, but that's up and down week to week. I mean, your team goes and go back and forth, So I'd say we're pretty even.
Yeah, I would agree. Breaking it down. That's a good job.
I think that's a good way to end the podcast there.
Yeah, solid.
You got anything else to say?
I do not, man. Another good one.
Another good one. Hope everybody listens.
Dude, next week, Castleberry and Alliance head to head.
Are you going to tank the game or are you going to try and win it?
Who knows what rosters will look like at that point?
More trades?
Who knows? And you got, man, Osnaburg and Zor next week. Dude,
yeah.
I don't know. Man, we got 2 games of the weeks. Memphis, North Industry. There's a lot of game of the week candidates next week.
Yeah. The only difference is I think Greg has a starting lineup in right now. I don't.
But I think Castleberry and Alliance game of the week next week.
I do not have Watson goes in, even though it's against San Francisco. I know that's scary. But Wilson comes out next week. and the big cheese comes in. Cooper Cup.
It's gonna be fun. And we should be back to Wednesday next week. Back on Wednesday night. So
Back on Wednesday, yeah.
all right, let's get some music blaring for the outro here.
You got for it.
Bitch cry for me like brand new onions. Way too cocky in the cool feeling. Always in the press, why this bitch acting? Got to spend 150 on the press units.